Before we start, I'd just like to welcome all of you here, guests, fellow Templars, and those to be knighted. This will probably be the day that you will never forget, and it's something that you have a chance to, if you do not want to take the oath, if you do not want to show your allegiance to the Knights Templars of Albion, you have the opportunity to leave the building now. I will take that as you wish us to proceed with the ceremony. Becoming a full knight takes on lots of responsibility, gentlemen. It means you may be called upon to defend the order and defend our honour. You will show allegiance to the Knights Templars of Albion only and to no other order. You will never divulge any information shown to you or shared with you at top table with anybody outside of the order. You will never bring the order into disrepute. You will at all times uphold your Templar oath, which you'll be asked to repeat. Our history goes back to the 11th century. 1139 is when our constitution was written, and we at the Knights Templars of Albion uphold that constitution. We also follow the protocol and ethos of Templars. Remember this: you have been chosen because you have shown loyalty and you have shown commitment. You have been through many tests so far, and you've each come from many different paths. You are here in a church which is now our temple, which has been here since the 11th century. You are very privileged, as we all are, to be knighted here. I will also request that from this day forth, you will always remember and refer to your oath. If at any time you have any doubt, you wish to remain a Templar, you must always confine within the top table. Remember this is just the beginning of your journey. We are all equal as brothers. We are all equal in all things. Remember as well, what is a Knights Templar? What does it stand for? Originally, brothers, as you know, we were defenders of the faith. Much has changed. You are here to uphold and defend the values of the Knights Templars, as is specified, as I said before, in 1139. You are not expected to do anything outside of that constitution, nor will I or your ruling officer at any time ask you to do anything which you could not ask myself or the ruling officer to do likewise. That is my promise to you. I would also like you to remember this: as you are knighted, so are we knighted. We are all equal in that. And in that, we are brothers. Des Valt. I would now like to hand over to our minister and ruling officer, who would also like to speak to you before we begin the ceremony. Brother.
Thank you, Grand Master. I'm going to cheat because, unlike Nick, my memory is not as good. So I've got a cheat sheet. So you'll have to excuse me while I read things. Good afternoon. Before we start, I feel it fitting to give praise and thanks for today. We are here gathered in Rothley Temple. A temple built and constructed by the Knights Templars, for the Knights Templars. First, may we give thanks and praise to the Knights Templars, for without them we would not be here today as members of this order. May we also lay our thanks to Green King for allowing us the privilege of calling this building home. As a mark of our thanks, can you all repeat after me the motto of the Knights Templars of Albion? Honors enim iumentum.
Honors enim iumentum.
For oath and for honour, amen.
For oath and for honour, amen.
So why are we here today? Seated before me are two people who have vowed to follow the path of the Knights Templars. It is a path of many avenues. Some will take you to a greater place, but some will lead you into the wilderness. It will always be your choice as to which path you follow and which direction it takes you. But as a Knights Templar, you will always have a place to seek guidance, a friend, a help in times of trouble, a warm fire, or a hot meal. As a secular order, it is your duty to show compassion and belief in all around you, ignoring race, creed and individuality. The Templar constitution, although based on monastic principles, laid the foundations of compassion and civility to all, while still being able to stand shoulder to shoulder in the face of adversity. The adversity in the 12th, 13th and 14th century faced by those brave knights is a far cry from the adversities we face today, but their beliefs stood strong no matter what right until the end. A true knight should have many beliefs. He should believe in God. He should believe in the good of all men. He should believe in standing tall and facing his foe, no matter what the outcomes, no matter what the sacrifice to himself. The question this raises is, are you standing before us today in the belief that you have what it takes to be a true knight of the order? If you have doubts, then now is the time to speak. I therefore ask you to consider these three questions. 1. Are you here of your own accord? 2. Are you here to follow your belief? 3. Are you here because you have what it takes to follow the writings of the Constitution and be a true knight? If your answer to all is yes, then I welcome you to this ceremony. I welcome you to this temple. I offer, as Minister of the Order, my respects. A true knight is a bold knight, a brave knight, and a caring knight. But boldness and bravery comes in many forms, including modesty. He will often forsake himself for the good of others. The Constitution speaks of not allowing self-promotion, not ridiculing brothers and brethren. All of these are acts of the brave and the bold, giving and forgiving as the writings wished. If you are sat in front of the altar, it is for 2 reasons. 1, you have chosen to. 2, you have been chosen. You now have to make a choice. Do you stay or do you go? Do you become a Knights Templar of Albion or follow the path into the wilderness? If you choose to stay, then I offer my respects, as I do if you choose to leave. For those who stay, I welcome you into this temple and to this ceremony to honour your chosen path to becoming a true knight of the order. I now declare this temple open for the knighting of these bold and brave men before me. As part of this ceremony, I will be asking you some questions, all of which you must answer in a clear tone so that those in witness hear your declaration to the Knights Templars. You will also be asked to affirm the oath of the order to show your allegiance to the Knights Templars of Albion. Only once you have confirmed these answers in this temple, in front of this altar, joined in hand with your minister and your Grand Master, can you follow the path to knighthood. You will then be awarded the honorary title of Knights Templar according to the constitutional rules of 1139. Ut stimum nostar hoc unim incendia untinim est in oculis meas et in ordinum. As together we stand, together we fall, united as one in the eyes of the order. Amen. I bid Deus Vult, and it now pleases me to request the Grand Master to join me for the first part of this ceremony. Grand Master, would you please do me the honour of performing a knighting upon myself?
I will, brother. Will you place your right hand upon mine?
Oh.
Brother, I request that you reaffirm your oath and the values and ethics bestowed upon you through your ordination and alliance to the order.
I will. Be without fear in the face of your enemies. Be brave and upright so that God will love you. Speak the truth always, even if it leads to your downfall. Safeguard the helpless and do no wrong. Honour those less fortunate than yourself. Remember all those who have fallen. Uphold and keep the faith. This is my oath to the commander of this order.
Brother, I now recognise you as a Knights Templar as a Knights Templar of Albion and also our ruling officer. You are now knighted. You may stand. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Brother, in your capacity as minister, I request that you bestow upon me the honour of knighting.
Certainly, sir. Would you please place your right hand upon mine? Would you please confirm your oath to uphold the values and ethics appointed in you according to your ordination, according to your status as the Grand Master of this order?
I will. Be without fear in the face of your enemies. Be brave and upright, so that God will love thee. Speak the truth always, even if it leads to your downfall. Safeguard the helpless and do no wrong. Honour those less fortunate than yourself. Remember all those who have fallen. Uphold and keep your faith. Des Fault in hoc signo vince.
Sir, I now recognise you as a Knights Templar, as a Knights Templar of Albion. You may from this day forward use the acronym of KT in order any and all correspondence. I thank you for kneeling before me. I thank you for confirming your oath. Please rise. I offer my hand for congratulations. Now, would the Grand Master please honour me in aiding in the knighting of Brothers Steve and Brother Tony, using the powers invested within yourself?
I will. Brother Steve, would you stand before us?
Now, Master, please place your right hand upon mine. Steve, will you please kneel? And will you place your right hand upon the Grand Master's? Steve, I have some questions for you, which you must answer in a clear and precise tone. Do you promise by this sword to uphold and honour the values and ethics of the Knights Templars of Albion?
I do.
Brother Steve, do you promise to stand in defence and support of your brothers in times of need and injustice?
I do.
I love cheating. Brother Steve, do you promise to be a true and loyal knight to the Knights Templars of Albion and all those within?
I do.
GM, will you please request for the oath confirmation?
Brother, I request that you will now recite your oath before us.
I will be without fear in the face of your enemies, be brave and upright, so that God may love thee. Speak the truth always, even if it leads to your downfall. Safeguard the helpless and do no wrong. Honour those less fortunate than yourself, and remember all those who have fallen. Uphold and keep our faith. Amen.
Brother Steve, by the power invested in me, I hereby grant you the honorary title of Knights Templar of Albion. Secondly, I hereby authorise you the position of Commander of Knights of this order. I thank you for taking your vows. I thank you for confirming your oath. You may now use the acronym of Knights Temple, KT, on any and all correspondence. I hereby recognise you under the powers invested in me as a true knight of the order. I thank you.
Brother, I now recognise you as a knight. I also recognise your allegiance to both myself as Grand Master and also to our ruling officer. You may stand with that.
Steve,
Steve.
congratulations, sir.
Congratulations, fellow knights.
Brother Tony, please come and stand before us. Brother Tony, please kneel. Thank you. Brother Steve, Brother Tony rather, I'm getting terrible today. I have 3 questions for you. Please answer in a clear, concise tone. Question 1. Do you promise by this sword to uphold and honour the values and ethics of the Knights Templars of Albion?
I do.
Question 2. Do you promise to stand in defence and support of your brothers in times of need and injustice?
I do.
Question 3. Do you promise to be a true and loyal to the Knights Templars of Albion and those within?
I do.
Gian, will you please request that the oath is confirmed?
Brother, as your Grand Master and a fellow knight, along with my ruling officer, I request now, before this altar, you confirm your oath.
Be without fear in the face of your enemies. Be brave and upright so that God will love thee. Speak the truth always, even if it leads to your downfall. Safeguard the helpless and do no wrong. Honour those less fortunate than yourself. Remember all those who have fallen. Uphold and keep our faith. Amen.
By the power invested in me, Brother Tony, I hereby grant you the honorary title of Knights Templar of Albion. Secondly, I authorise hereby you to the position of Commander of Knights of the Order. Do you accept these positions?
I do.
You may now use the acronym KT officially as a Knights Templar. I welcome you, sir. I welcome you, Brother Steve. I thank you.
Thank you.
Brother Tony, I recognise you as Commander of Knights within our order. I also, by your oath, accept your allegiance to the Knights Templars of Albion. Welcome, brother.
Thank you.
You may stand. Congratulations.
Congratulations, sir, and welcome. Now, we actually have one more slight order of business that we weren't expecting when we set this up, were the Grand Master?
No.
So, on that score, Brother Cliff, will you please come and join us at the front? We wanted to take this opportunity to welcome you officially to this order. We wanted you standing in front of this order to shake your hand and bid you welcome. So please, I offer my hand in friendship to my brother.
I welcome you. You're welcome, brother.
I would also like to give you, while we're here, your official membership card. You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. You're welcome. Brothers, you have shown your allegiance to this order. You have made your oaths. As our ruling officer and minister has kindly stated, I welcome all of you to this order. May we grow, may we be strong, and remember, we are brothers. And above all, we are Knights Templars of the Knights Templars of Albion. Dares fight!
Dares fight.
Gentlemen, I was going to write a closing sermon, And then I thought to myself, nothing speaks better than the heart. So I didn't write one. So I'm going to do what I'm good at. I'm going to make it up as I go along. First, I thank you for being here. Secondly, I thank you in the name of this order for accepting not only your knighting, but also your positions within the order. I thank you for the work that you've undertaken alongside myself and the Grand Master to get us to where we are today. Originally you were asked questions about whether you wanted to be here, or whether you should be here, questions you needed to think about. It is obvious from the fact that you are still sat there, you made what we consider to be the right choices. For that, I thank you. You've proved that our confidence in you is as good as obviously your confidence is in us. With that, I would like to say thank you for accepting these titles. I would like to praise you for receiving your knighting. I think it's very warranted. I feel it's very validated. You are valid members of this order, and if ever we do anything that changes that, I pray that you come and speak to us, because you are very, very valid members of our top table, and for that we thank you. So I would like to close this by once again asking you if you'd both like to stand forwards and please warmly shake both myself and the Grand Master by the hand again as a mark of congratulations. Welcome to this court. Grand Master? Cliff?
Welcome, brother.
I thank you for coming, and I hope you like what you see. We have great plans with two good gentlemen here who are going to help us take those plans forward. We want this order to grow. We want it to be something that you want it to be. Not just what the Grand Master and myself want. This is for all of us. Once again, I thank you for attending this ceremony. I welcome you, I praise you, and I hope that you feel that you've earned your right to be here. Amen.
Brother, would you play the closing music?
I certainly will, sir.
Gentlemen, obviously you may stay or you may go, but I would like you all to join us to have some food together and maybe a couple of drinks to celebrate today's night. Thank you very much, my friends.
Gentlemen, you may now take a more comfortable position other than the one directly with your bald heads facing the camera. It would be nice if you both turned around and smiled at the camera.